One of the secrets of truly wealthy people is that they spend money based on their net worth, not their income. They know that rich is current income, but wealth is hidden. It's income not spent. I heard Morgan Housel say that wealthy is when you've got a degree of freedom and autonomy with money. And the richest man in history, King Solomon, said, one person pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. And I've seen this many times over the last 16 years helping people at my wealth management firm. And if you think about it, rich is often seen by what the income buys, but wealth and being wealthy for the regular person is not always seen. It's not flashy. It's assets, right? It's the accounts you have, the income properties that you have. And the person making $300,000 a year, but spending $290,000 has less wealth than someone making $100K, but saving $30,000 each year. Now, to help with this, I've got a practical concept that's easy to apply today. It's been made popular by Nick Maggiulli, and it's called the 0.01% rule. And that rule is going to give you a much better chance of making it to this next level of the wealth ladder. In his book, The Wealth Ladder, Maggiulli shows that wealth building isn't just one strategy, but really it's 6 different levels, each requiring different approaches as you climb from 10,000 to 100,000 to a million and beyond. The good news is you don't have to be a millionaire to apply this wealth rule. Anyone could do it, whether you've got 10,000 or 10 million. And I'll share an easy way to do it in this video. And then I'll also make sure that you don't fall for some of the traps that come when you make it to the next level, because what gets you to that level of wealth, it's not what's going to get you to the following levels. But first, if I haven't met you yet, I'm Dave Zoller, and I started this channel to share money lessons that I learned over the last 16 years of helping my clients achieve financial independence. And one of those traps that I've seen people fall into, I already mentioned it, and it's they spend money based on their income instead of their net worth. And doing that makes it much harder to get to that next wealth level. It often knocks people down to lower levels as well. So let's go over the 0.01% rule. It states that you can safely spend 0.01% of your liquid net worth each day as extra money without hurting your wealth building. And it gives you permission to enjoy your money at the right level. I see a lot of people that either hoard their money and save. It's money that they could spend, or the other side, they spend money that they don't have. But this framework is going to help you find that sweet spot where you can actually enjoy your wealth without destroying it. Here's how the math works. So take your liquid net worth and then divide it by 10,000, which is 0.01%. And that's how much additional money you can spend each day without impacting your wealth. And that's assuming that your income that you have is already covering your basic living expenses. This works because your investments that you have, they should grow on average roughly by 0.01% per day. When you take that over the course of a year, that's a 3.7% growth rate. And that's a pretty conservative growth rate. So if your net worth is 100,000, then you can safely spend $10 each day in excess of your income. And as your net worth goes up, then just divide that number by 10,000. So someone at a million can spend $100 per day in excess of income. Now, you and I have both heard the financial gurus out there, the advice that says, don't buy that $5 coffee each day. Instead, make it at home and then invest the difference. And then you'll have over $150,000 in 30 years. Now, that's true. You can do that. But we're seeing that if you've got 100,000 in liquid net worth, this rule can help you actually enjoy that coffee now and not be afraid of what it could be if you were to invest it. But your net worth, if it's only $20,000, then your daily spend would just be $2. Now that coffee upgrade becomes something that maybe you should look at a little bit more carefully. Maybe it's a once per week treat instead of a daily habit. So that's the idea of the 0.01% rule. And then I've got some traps that people fall into at each of these wealth levels. But I'm curious to know if you're liking this video so far. If you are, click the like button so that I know, and then I can make more videos like this. So as we look at this wealth ladder, you can imagine the people that have the hardest time with this rule is someone that's making great income, but their net worth is still pretty low. You know, they'll say, well, I'm making $200,000 per year. $2 is nothing. I could spend that. I'm not going to bat an eye. But if your net worth is $20,000, you're still at wealth level number 2, regardless of what you earn. And this is why spending based on your net worth, not your income, really changes everything. The wealthy person with $500,000 liquid net worth can spend $50 a day extra without worry. But the high income earner with only $20,000 saved should stick to $2 per day in extra and focus on building their wealth. It's not about restricting your spending, but it's really about just spending intelligently based on your actual wealth. And that 0.01% rule prevents you from falling down the ladder or making mistakes. And that leads to the biggest mistake that I see people make, which is lifestyle inflation without wealth inflation. They get a raise, their income goes up, and then in a short while, their expenses trend up to match that higher income. It could be a new car payment or upgraded home or fancy vacation, but their net worth barely moved. So the 0.01% rule just forces you to ask, can my wealth support this lifestyle? And not, can my income support this payment? Because you and I both know income can be fickle. It can fluctuate and it's not always in our control. I've seen people making $500,000 a year and they can afford all the best things. Money isn't a worry to them, but they're spending nearly every dollar that comes in and they're not building their net worth. Then income disappears due to layoffs or business failure or health issues, and then they've got nothing to show for it. Your income is not guaranteed. Your net worth is really the thing that protects you. So here's a 5-minute action for today. It's really just find your liquid net worth. That's cash, your investments, accessible savings. It's not illiquid assets like your home equity. So step 1 is find that. And then step 2 is find your current wealth level on the wealth ladder. And then step 3 is divide that number by 10,000, which is 0.01%. And then keep that number, step 4 is keep that number in mind as you go about your day and how you're making spending decisions. And then remember, rich is current income, but wealth is hidden. And as you grow your wealth, you gain freedom, you gain control and autonomy with the money that you have and your time. If this was helpful, let me know by clicking the like button and then check out this video on some of the most important money principles that can actually transform your wealth building journey. Take care.